Start by investing with 500 bucks? That's not going to make a difference, is it? The common rebuttal that I got from a wealth coaching client of mine recently was a very successful multi-seven-figure business. I'll explain to you around the psychology of why we started his investments with $500 and how you could potentially do the same. So for a lot of my clients, when we start working with them, they've got typically a very successful business. Might be high six figures, seven figures, potentially even into eight figures. Now, there is a common theme among many of them that as they are going on their journey, they haven't necessarily prioritized their personal wealth. They've reinvested back into the business, they've been focusing on scaling up. Personal wealth has taken a little bit of a back seat, and they realize they need to play some catch up. One of the biggest issues that actually gets in the way of them making any real meaningful progress in their personal wealth is that they believe that the gap of how far they are behind from where they should be at this stage of the game is so big that they feel they need to make drastic decisions in order to play catch up. The thing that they overlook is the sustainability of that strategy and creating what I refer to as money muscle memory. The idea that we create repeated habits and behaviours that we can stick to for the long term. So, for a lot of my clients when they come to me, when we start implementing their investment strategy, and sometimes I recommend as little as $500 a month to get started. And the reason for this is because there's very few people that I've ever been able to meet that haven't been able to carve $500 a month out of their business or out of their personal cash flow in order to start their investment journey. Funnily enough, we've actually started it with even less. In some cases, $100 a month, but in this case, it was $500. Now, this guy's an ambitious guy. He's got a successful business, and he spends a lot more than $500 a month on just meaningless crap that isn't getting him any closer to his goals. So he immediately said, Jackson, this is ridiculous. Are you serious? We're going to start with $500 a month. And my rebuttal, straight-faced, was yes, of course. The idea here is about starting with our minimal acceptable standard. We want to create a habit with as little as $500 a month because it's the next step up from doing absolutely nothing. But if we tried to go to the complete opposite end, let's say we started with $10,000 a month, the likelihood that he's going to find an excuse in month 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, potentially over the first kind of 12 to 24 months, to vary that, to reduce it back down is substantially higher. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to create positive affirmations around wealth building activity. We start with $500 a month and we set a reminder to review it in 90 days time. In many cases, it happens a lot faster. And then we put it up to $750 a month or $1,000 a month or $2,000 a month, and we create momentum. And what I find is that this helps my clients get excited about wealth building because they're actually positively affirming their behavior. They're enhancing that behavior in steps whereby they're making a conscious decision that by making this adjustment, I'm going to stick to this. This is now a habit that I'm going to run for the rest of my life. And very, very quickly, we gain a lot of momentum. So the idea behind this is that we want to create meaningful habits. We don't want to be tactical in our decision making for a number of reasons. One, we need to preciously conserve our decision making power. There are far better and more important decisions that you could be making than deciding how much you're going to contribute each and every single month to your investment, particularly if that's an ad hoc amount. Second, we need to make sure that we create these positive affirmations. By constantly having a strategy that we can enhance and optimize over time, we start getting the positive affirmation of that activity, right? Great, I've increased my contribution, I feel good about it, I can set and forget it until next quarter. And thirdly, it allows us to break the ice because much like if you were going to the gym and you wanted to become an Olympic weightlifter, you're not going to go and start trying to squat 300 kilos at the bar, right? Isn't that right, rubies? No, you start with the bar. And then you get the reps right, you make sure that your form is good, and then you start adding weight over time. Wealth is absolutely no different. If we try and bench lift or squat the 300 kilos, we're either not going to lift the bar or we're going to hurt ourselves. And then that ultimately sets us back quite substantially. So how can you implement these principles into your own wealth building strategy? Let me know.